All right. Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I am your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be breaking down all the news, notes, and quotes as it pertains to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say mahalo to each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. Just be sure to turn on and flip on the bell notification so you guys get notified when I go live or when I obviously upload content. Obviously, there's a lot of things to talk about. We're not going to leave any stone unturned. And again, thank you everyone for chiming in today on this Pick Six live stream that we're going to do every day at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So every Monday and Tuesday, we will do a Pick Six at 6 p.m. live stream. People are trying to let me write that down, right? So write that down. There's a few things in regards to hashtag. Let me write that down. Shirts are coming out. We are in the process of making those over this past weekend, and we already have pre-orders in the works on that. So. Aside from that, we're going to go ahead and talk about exactly my take. People can piggyback on it and twist it and turn it how they want it, but really. And we're going to go ahead and talk about exactly how it fits the Raider way, right? So we're going to talk about all these different things. And again, there's a lot of you guys on YouTube. There's a lot of you guys on Facebook. There's a lot of you guys who aren't even Raider Nation, right? You guys are just part of the DOB family, which all entails the good vibes only. So my man, JP Edward de Dios, he's been following me. He's been an Arizona Cardinals fan, and he's been following me ever since COVID, right, JP? And he found me here on YouTube. And he's a huge Cardinals fan. He wanted grades on Isaiah Simmons, wanted grades on Zaven Collins, wanted grades on Buda Baker, wanted grades on all these other guys. I cover when you talk about the landscape of the other 32, and when it comes to mock drafting, right? You can't just plug and play players based on the vertical board that we always talk about. There's horizontal board. There's also tendency and biases, and again, you have to really look at the analytics, but then also go with your gut feeling based on how you see these GMs playing out those picks in the respective draft positions that they're in. So a lot of different dynamics go into that. And when I formulate my mock draft, and again, if you're just new to follow me, I beat ESPN, beat NFL Network over the last 2 years, finished no worse than third over the last 7. So I'm really, really eager to see how I do this year. So again, the proof's in the pudding. If you're going to follow a mock draft, follow someone that gets it right in real time and cross-check that into hindsight. Don't follow someone that just plugs and plays. I hate that. Hate's a strong word, but I hate that because that's just a lazy way of analyzing a real mock draft. Daniel Kim says, salute Ryan. Let's go, man. Oh, Daniel, thank you so much. You know what? Now that you mentioned, I did not get back to your text message. How rude of me this morning. But I'm doing good. We're on here live, and you shouldn't be texting while you're working. I'm joking. My man DK is a teacher, and what do you teach again, Daniel Kim? Science, right? Something with science. DK is a good friend of mine here in the DOB, and he actually helps out modding this YouTube channel. All right, so down kids, let me write that down. Hashtag BEASTwriter. Yeah, let me write that down. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about exactly what's going on. There's 11 of us watching right here. Smash the like button. If you guys notice, I don't post any of this on Twitter anymore simply because it doesn't hit the algorithm here on YouTube. And so, I want to drive up the YouTube channel, right? I want to drive up the Facebook channels and so outlets, if you will. And so I wanted to go ahead and say, you know what? Okay, if you're going to follow my content, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook as well. But at the end of the day, like I like to pick and choose my spots where I want to post the information that I'm posting. And so I think on Twitter, we're going to kind of do a catch-22 or reverse psychology, if you will, because let me write that down. A lot of people are from the hashtag let me write that down universe over there. But let me write that down. So you're going to have to subscribe to the channel. And if you do, you'll be entered for these freaking DOB giveaways like Kelly Joseph. She won this. All right. No joke. Not joking. She won it. And if you noticed, if you looked on the past live stream, I talked about it. She actually left a comment. So you know she's engaging here on the DOB. So again, good vibes only here. Good vibes only. And that's what it's about. Jorge says, or George says, what's good, Beast? What's going on, George? How are you doing? I hope everyone had a happy Easter. I know I did, outside of being attacked by a pit bull yesterday. That was interesting. I've been attacked by numerous dogs. I've been attacked by a husky before. I've been attacked by bigger dogs before. And this one, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I don't know. I think once you're in a position to where like something's attacking you, like you just go into defense mode. And so that was a very interesting, gosh, incident that happened to me yesterday. While I was walking my dog. So, um, people, pet owners, if you have pit bulls, learn how to control your pit bull. Otherwise, it ain't gonna be good for the pit bull. Just saying, it's not gonna be good for the pit bull. I love pit bulls. Been around pit bulls my whole life. But if you're a dog owner, don't know how to take care of a pit bull, and you don't know how to control your dog, then you should have no business owning a pit bull. I'm telling you, it's not good. So I kind of messed up. Just FYI, I kind of messed up my forearm yesterday because of the pit bull incident. But look, not a scratch on me, right? Crazy. Jampel Edward Didio says, yes, COVID. And let me tell you something. I just live here right across the street from Raiders headquarters. So I'm going to tell you guys what I see, what I'm hearing. Obviously, literally what I'm seeing. I live right across the street. But that's like I have binoculars and checking out, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? That'd be kind of stalkish and creepy. But we're gonna talk about everything in between as it relates to the pre-draft visits, and obviously we're gonna talk about all that stuff. Look, we're gonna talk about the 7th overall pick. There's been talk, all right. So before we go ahead and get started, again, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I did give a shout out to team president. Today's President's Day for the Raider Nation. Happy birthday to Raiders president Sandra Douglas Morgan. She is now obviously having a fun time today because it's her birthday. So reach out to her on Twitter, on social media, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Wish her a happy birthday because, again, she is a pioneer in the NFL industry and obviously is a huge role model for everyone, including myself. You know, I believe, if I'm mistaken, she's part Korean. So I can definitely relate. I'm part Korean myself. So it's really, really cool to see someone like that just kind of breaking barriers, if you will. And my hat's off to Mr. Davis for hiring her and placing his trust in her. And I think she's done a really tremendous job. She does a really, really fantastic job. All right. So happy birthday to team president Sandra Douglas Morgan. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the pre-draft visits. All right. So you guys have heard the news. There's a lot of guys that are coming in for pre-draft visits. If you haven't touched base on the last live stream, we broke it down on who those players were. A lot of the top quarterbacks, obviously. They're bringing in some of these edge rushers that are coming in. I'm hearing that they're going to bring in a few cornerbacks, although nothing has been officially listed. If they are, I have not received a word yet from my sources. But there are people in the works. I know they had and gone through some virtual meetings with a few prospects. I will keep that internal for now. But in all likelihood, there's a lot of different virtual. When you talk about people who come in for pre-draft visits, a lot of time is just to do legwork on the prospect, right? Like, who is this person? Like, why are they bringing him? Like Jalen Carter, they're bringing him. Why? Because they want to know what's going on with this off-field incident, pleading no contest to whatever the case may be, right? Like, we're not rehash that. Also, you want to bring in guys because, again, if you look around the landscape of the entire NFL, sometimes you want to bring in guys not to just gauge that guy that you're bringing in, but gauge his teammates because maybe you're interested in his teammates, not necessarily that guy. Maybe you can kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, maybe somewhat you're interested in this guy, but you're hiding your interest in the guy you're really targeting in the first round or the second round or whatever the case may be. Because once word gets out and stuff gets leaked to like me or someone else that someone is coming for a pre-draft visit, then it's like, oh man, you just showed your cards, or did they? Right? So it's kind of like reverse psychology here. And again, you see it with guys like the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? What did they do with Chase Winovich, right? Went out to his pro day, had dinner with him, dined him out, all that good stuff. And who they draft? Devin Bush. So obviously they were high in Chase Winovich. That's something I reported. But at the end of the day, like, I was like, don't be surprised if they're, going to target Devin Bush in the draft and trade up for him. And they did. With the Denver Broncos, you guys remember how that played out. I believe they moved up from 20 to 10. I think it was 20 to 10 or something like that. And they got Devin Bush back in 2019. I believe it was 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, you guys got to understand the dynamics, and there's different layers to why people do things. JP Edward says, also, you called Zaven Collins. I did. I called Zaven Collins. I called, like, again, my mock drafts, I'm telling you, if you're going to follow someone in real time, at least get it right? More times than not. I'm not saying get it right 100% time. That'd be crazy. I'd be a rich man. I'd be a billionaire. But What I am saying is I get it more right than wrong. Doesn't matter what team we're talking about. Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons. In fact, I hit 3 of the last 4 Arizona Cardinals draft picks in the first round. 3 of the last 4. That's 75%. The Beast receipts check out. Oh, cool story. They do. And so that again, new GM is in place. Monty Austin Fortin is in place. They have the 3rd overall pick. What I'm hearing is they really like Will Anderson. So they're kind of deciphering whether or not to trade back, get the draft capital that they need, because there's a lot of holes that they need, obviously. JJ Watt's obviously retired. And so there's a huge hole on the defense side of the football. But at the end of the day, it's like this. Okay, so do you want a generational talent like a Will Anderson, or do you want to stockpile more picks and kind of fill other needs while still getting more targets at the board? For me, if I'm sitting there at 3, and again, we don't know what the Houston Texans are going to do at 2, right? Because that's a D'Amico Ryans guy. He comes from the San Francisco 49ers, and GM Nick Caserio loves building teams from the inside out, not the outside in. Obviously, he comes from the New England Patriots and building the best 5, just like GM Dave Ziegler. So again, here we go. Don't be surprised. To me, the draft starts at number 2. It doesn't start at number 1. We all know that they're going to go quarterback. And what I'm hearing, it's going to be Bryce Young. Now watch it be CJ Stroud or Will Levis. You don't trade up to number 1 for a guy like Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. You just don't do that. Now watch it happen. There's no need. Come on. Let's if you watch film, if you do mock drafts, if you understand how mock drafting works, you know damn well you don't trade up from, what was it, 10-1 or 9-1? What was it? 9-1? 9-1, because GM Ryan pulled. That's right, 9-1 for a guy that you otherwise could have had potentially at number 9 if you just sat there in that cluster that we talked about. Jeremy Willis says trade back, hopefully get Canty and Branch followed through Drew Sanders. I'm not as high as Kalijah Canty. Like I said, I talked about it. I'm not as high in him as some of these other people. I like him. Not saying I don't like him. I'm just not as high in him. I do like. I was gonna say Calvin Branch. Who? Kelvin Brown? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. I do like the Alabama product. Defensive back. He played the star. He can play nickel. He can play both safety roles. I talked about Brian Branch earlier on and why he would be a good fit and so forth. I like him. You can trade back into that cluster. You don't have to give him at 7. You can trade back into that cluster I talked about from that 12 to 18 range based on how the mock draft is playing out in my estimation, based on my analytics and what I've been known to do over the course of the last 20 years. All right, so Drew Sanders is another guy I like, but I think they're really set with Robert Spillane. I think they like what they see in Luke Masterson. I think they have hope in Darian Butler. So when you talk about an off-ball linebacker, I think you see the dynamic there. When you talk about the weak side linebacker as opposed to the strong side linebacker, that's when you talk about the Nolan Smiths of the world. That's when you talk out of Georgia. If you guys saw my grade the snap, not the box score on that, before his pro day, before his combine. And so it's crazy how everything comes to fruition. There's a lot of different layers to this, right? And so I think when you just see everyone saying the same exact thing, like, don't get me wrong, I think everyone's saying the same exact thing. It's kind of like recycled news at this point. So I'm going to give you a fresh take, right? Like, because you don't want to hop on and talk. I guarantee the stuff that I'm talking about, someone else, oh yeah, let's talk about that tomorrow at 6 p.m. Which, by the way, I'll be on that 6 p.m. Pick 6, do another Pick 6 live stream here on Taco Tuesday. All right. Alpha 1 says, what's going on, man? How you doing? What's good, Beast? Raider Jim says, do we think we're drafting a quarterback at any point in the draft? Yes. The answer is absolutely yes. Chase Garbers, you're put on notice, bro. Just joking. Kind of not, though. I think they're going to draft a quarterback. I think they're going to go after a guy who they think they could develop. And again, people are talking like the Raiders going from 7 to 3. I mean, yes, there's 6 teams. Okay, 16. Think about this. There's 6 teams in the market for the number 3 overall draft position, according to national media. Not local media, like me as a beat writer, someone who covers a team Monday through Friday, actually Monday through Sunday. Look, believe who you want. Okay, if there's 6 teams interested in that pick, let's go ahead and look at those 6 teams. Do you guys know who those 6 teams are? I got you covered. Oh, this is good. Now, there's no guarantee that these are the 6 teams, but based on how my mock draft stacks up and how these GMs like to operate, obviously the Las Vegas Raiders would be one of those teams. The question is to move from 1 to 3. I don't think any of these 6 teams would make a make a pre-draft trade unless they knew what was available at pick number 3. which again brings me to pick number 2. Again, there's different layers to this. You can't just plug and play, because what you see here with the number 1 overall pick, if it's CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, you don't know on the Raiders board who they value more. I'm thinking it's Bryce Young, but it could be CJ Stroud. All right. So if that's the case, and let's say the Carolina Panthers, or no, let's say the Carolina Panthers, getting confused there. Let's say Carolina Panthers go ahead and pick Bryce Young at 1. Okay, so now the Texans are sitting there at 2. Do they think, based on the horizontal board, or even the vertical board, the vertical board, let's talk about the vertical board. Do they believe that CJ Stroud is better than Will Anderson? I guarantee, if I had to take a guess, D'Amico Ryans would be like, nah, man, give me Will Anderson. I think GM Nick Cassari would be like, okay, I think I want Nick Anderson. I think Nick Anderson from Orlando Magic. No, I think I would want, obviously, Will Anderson. That's my guess. So then again, okay, cool. If they take Will Anderson at 2, then the Raiders are, sitting there at 7-3. Oh, dang, snap. CJ Stroud sitting at 3. All right. This is why it's a hot pick for a trade, because people want, and you don't know how these players are playing their draft boards. It's because you don't know, how these teams are playing the draft boards. You don't know how they're ranking Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. It's not so much Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. I mean, that's all clickbait for me. Like, I think that's clickbait. You don't, if you watch the film, you don't do that. All right. Like, that's a bad GM. Now watch any one of those 2 quarterbacks go on and be Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I just don't see it happening based on when I see in grade the snap, not the box score. I think the draft's going to start at 3. All right. Now, if you live here in Vegas, go ahead and place those bets. I think the draft starts at 3. And again, if for some unforeseen reason, right, CJ Stroud sitting there at 3, you know dang well Monty Ossenfort from the Arizona Cardinals ain't going to draft a quarterback because he has Kyler Murray, who watches film study 4 hours a week. I'm joking, not really, but he has a clause in his contract that he has to watch film, which still, I always bring it up because I think it's weird that you have to tell somebody in your hey, we're going to pay you, we're going to make you a multimillionaire, but you're going to have to study. You have to actually do work. Like, oh, you mean like I can't do this for free? Like, no, I can't play. No, I can't play video games all day. No. What if I play Madden? Does that work? Does that work? No. So I think the draft starts at 3. Obviously, the Raiders could be interested in a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Like, we don't know, right? I don't know how the Carolina Panthers are going to view their vertical board based on those 2 players. But I will say this. I will say you don't trade from 9 to 1 if you didn't have a conviction about a quarterback. Right? Because think about it. If you were to trade from 9 to 3, right? If they held the 9th overall pick, think about this. If they held the 9th overall pick and they traded to number 3, they would have to give up less draft capital. But then again, the player that would be optimal at the 3rd position would likely be a quarterback, right? If you had to take a guess, because if you were thinking that the Houston Texans would go and roll with Will Anderson if they're going BPA, which they should do, which would be Will Anderson in my estimation, then we're talking about the number 3 overall pick. Or wipe that clean. To trade from 9 to 1 as opposed to 9 to 2, what's the draft capital in return? Because now you're guaranteed one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft. They already know who they want to target. You wouldn't make that trade unless you didn't know who you wanted to target already. Otherwise, you would have traded 9 to 2 and be like, okay, well, we're not so sure, but we know we're getting one of those 2 quarterbacks in that cluster because we hold the 2nd overall pick. And so here we are. If you're going quarterback, that was your route. So you got to think about that, like, logically. So I think the draft starts at 3. And I think there's a lot of different layers to this, right? Like, too many people just talk about, oh, what are they doing with the 3rd overall pick with the Raiders? Look, if CJ Stroud is sitting there from 7 to 3, right, at the 3rd overall pick, you know dang well Monty Ossenfort's going to make a trade. There's no way he's not going to make a trade. There's no way. Look at their draft needs right now. All right. If you look at the Arizona Cardinals draft needs, they need a running back, they need an offensive guard, they need a center, defensive tackle, defensive end, middle linebacker, outside linebacker, cornerback, and strong safety based on what I'm seeing on the running the game film, right? Running the game grades. That's a lot of different needs, right? So you're going to need a plethora of draft picks to kind of fill those needs because free agency is already over. And who do they sign in free agency? That was well worth noting, right? Zach Pascal from the Eagles. Okay, cool story. Kaiser White from the Eagles. Okay, cool story. That's it. That's only 2 players, all right? Mark it, 2 players. Look what the Raiders did, all right? The Raiders signed Jimmy Garoppolo from the Niners, Brian Hoyer from the Patriots, Jacoby Myers from the Patriots, Phil Dorsett from the Texans, DeAndre Carter from the Chargers, Cam Sims for the Commanders, OJ Howard from the Texans, Austin Hooper from the Titans, Jacob Bobenmoyer from the Denver Broncos, John Jenkins from the Dolphins, Jordan Willis from the 49ers, Robert Spillane from the Steelers, Brandon Faison from the Colts, David Long Jr. from the Rams, Duke Shelley from the Vikings, Marcus Epps from the Eagles, and Jaquan Johnson from the Bills. So you don't think they're going to stockpile more picks and trade out? You know dang well Monty Osmore's going to trade them. In fact, I'm going to Vegas after this and placing my bet that they're going to trade out of number 3. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm placing my bet. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm serious. Then check out the Beast. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. Watch me. Not joking. D Man says, Beast, what's going on, man? How you doing? A lot of people all up in here. Leonard Villafuerte says, any thoughts on Mark Davis' comments on Ziegler? I like it. Look, he's letting him do his job. And at the same time, it's not an easy job to do. Like, you got to let GM Dave Ziegler do his job, right? You got to let him do his job. And so obviously it kind of comes with a grain of salt, but you really think GM Dave Ziegler is doing a bad job? How can you format that analysis after 1 year? Oh, we went to the playoffs the year prior. Look how many of those wins you guys snuck out. Like when I say you guys, I mean the Raiders, like the Raiders in general. Obviously, you guys, me, same thing. I'm saying the same exact thing happened this year, just the ball went the other way. Raiders Game Recognized Game says, if you're caught off guard by your pit bull being aggressive and you're not aggressive enough to control that animal, you should never be a pit bull owner in the first place. Right? That's what I think. Yeah, I was attacked by a pit bull. If you guys are just tuning in, it was not a pretty sight. In fact, my instincts, my beast instincts took over. Like I literally yelled. So it was attack. So basically, I was with my girlfriend. We're walking our dog, right? It's Chihuahua. But you notice like it's like part Chihuahua. It's not full Chihuahua. So literally, she does not bark. She doesn't like confrontation. She won't even look at you and like she's very, very timid. And so she was minding her business. And then there's this dog that just like charges us from the other side of the street. And then my girlfriend picked up the dog, turned the other way, and the pit bull was literally like gonna pounce on her. And so I was like a little bit far. I was like a little bit further ahead because I didn't know what's going on. So I turned around and then I saw that. I was like, hey, like screamed hell loud. Obviously neighbors started to come out. So like, oh dang, what's going on? You know, buff Asian guy, tattoos, something going on, bad for business, right? Typical stereotypes. And so I was loud, like I was, hey, like what's going on? Like I don't know. And so the pit bull just then directed its attention toward me, and I was like, oh boy, okay, game on, like it's gonna go down. So me personally, I was gonna let the dog bite me because it's gonna lock its jaw, right? Because obviously pit bulls have, they lock their jaw, like so I was gonna let it bite me, and I was gonna kind of get it in the chokehold. Other that, or stuff can go out. Anyways, long story short, the pit bull lives another day. I live another day. And the owner didn't apologize. The lady did not even apologize. She literally said, this is why we don't let the dog out. Like talking to the guy who was at that house. Like, oh, this is why we don't let the dog out. It's like, if you knew that, then why the hell you let the dog out? Like, by the way, not on a leash. Running in the middle of the street. Actually across the street, and it's a busy street. Like the dog could have got hurt. Like I don't know. People here don't know how to take care of their dogs. I'm serious. You see it on Nextdoor. Go download the Nextdoor app or whatever. You'll see all kinds of crap going on. I'm telling you, it's nuts. It's like I call it the wild, wild west here because it is. It's wild. You don't get this in the Bay Area. This is why we don't let the dog out. Okay, then why'd you let the dog out in the first place if you can't handle your damn dog? I told her straight up. I was like, if this happens again, that dog may not see too many Easters after this. I'm joking. I didn't say that. I wanted to, but I was like, man, I was really upset though. I was scared for my life too. Not gonna be afraid, like, oh yeah, I'm a tough guy. Man, I'm telling you, but I have been attacked by numerous dogs, and luckily, I came out on top of those incidents because at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's survival of the fittest, dude. Like, oh no, I'm a dog lover. I love pit bulls, by the way. Huge pit bull lover. Love pit bulls. But if If you don't know how to train your pit bull or handle the pit bull, they're the most loyal dogs, by the way. Very, very nice, very, very. But you know, you got to be able to control the dog. It's gonna run all over you. Daniel Kim says a lot of people are on the trade back train now. Yeah, look. Whew. In that cluster that I talked about, go figure. Who reported here on January 11th and January 19th? Bam, 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 bam. Here in the DOB. Let me write that down. Let's keep it hot. Man, you heard this back in January, all right? That I thought the Raiders were going to trade down. The season wasn't even over yet. Now I'm talking about the draft. Why? Because I run grades on college film. I run grades on all the NFL teams throughout the year. So when I hop on the live stream, I know what the hell I'm talking about. If you don't follow me, you're missing the point and you're part of the Raider Nation, because at the end of the day, we covered all the stuff that they're talking about now, people talking about. We discussed it 3 months ago and it still holds up today. Go figure. Niner fans know what's going on. They've been doing it for the last 10 years. I got that crystal ball. I got you covered more times than not. Daniel Munoz says, I take the best defensive player possible unless they can get a 1 next year to trade back so they can make a move up for May next year. My man, Jeremy Willis. Listen. And there's 33 of you guys watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. We are on for 31 minutes and 32 seconds right now. And again, what I want to do is to build up the DOB organically. Like, I love to earn every inch I get. Look, I'm not saying, oh, cool story, you get it right. But at the end of the day, yes, I do get it right. And that's why I'm not afraid to put my analysis on the line in real time, because it checks out more times than not. The Beast receipts over the last 15 years check out. The question remains to be seen. I got to prove myself to the other Raider Nation. So how do we do that, right? How do we grow the DOB so then the bigger we get, the bigger the prizes too, right? Like these things are $40, right? And we're really small. We only have 5,000 followers here or subscribers here on YouTube. If we double that, dude, I guarantee you, I'll be buying season tickets to the game. How do we grow there? How do we grow there, right? What's the incentive for someone to follow? Well, I just told you, season tickets to the game. But aside from that is sharing the video, liking it, sharing it on all your social media platforms. If you're watching on Facebook, share the video. You guys can do that. There's a share button. That's free. If you can like the video, that's free. That doesn't cost a thing. People want to donate to the channel. That is also a good thing too. But you don't have to. I mean, you can do things that are free of charge. There's no cost to you, right? So 34 of you guys watching right now, give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to say. It will push the algorithm to other like-minded YouTube influencers like yourself, or YouTube Raider Nation like yourself, that will, hey man, this stuff's good. Or this stuff's bad. I don't care. Give it a thumbs down. Either way, if you give it a thumbs down, that's actually good too, because it helps the algorithm, because it means that you care. Because if you didn't, then you wouldn't have gave it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's when people say stuff on Twitter. It's funny. You know, you have these trolls on Twitter, right? And they're always, oh man, like, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And then I come back and be like, okay, well, first of all, let's keep it 100, right? Do I tell you how to do your job? They go, no. Okay. And then I say, okay, don't tell me how to do mine. That's number one. Number two, right? Just keep it factual information, not being a jerk or anything like that. Just keep it factual, right? That's facts. Number two, if you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to follow me. But the fact that you're following me means that I have value, right? And if it didn't mean anything, number three, class is in session. Fact number three, right? You follow me, not the other way around. So it's not like I'm trolling you, but you're the one trolling me, trying to tell me how to do my. It's just crazy. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, hashtag Beast Receipts. Go look it up, and then get back to me. Jeremy Wood says, "I love what Sanders brings with the pass rush off the edge and off-ball linebacker, killing two birds with." I like it. I like the killing multiple birds with one stone. I can tell you that's the Raider way. Now watch someone write that down. But we covered this time last year, on my first year on the beat, heading into it. It was crazy. By the way, that was the most craziest time of my life. One of the most craziest times, because I was like Airbnb, living out of a duffel bag, doing literally, if you go back on my live streams this time last year, I was literally living out of a duffel bag, bro. Like, I was living out of a duffel bag. all my supplements in my duffel bag, all my clothes, had to go to the coin op over here. There's a Tide coin op here in Henderson. It was really nice. And I did my laundry there because the Airbnb wouldn't let you, some places wouldn't let you do your laundry there. I was like, okay, that's cool. I get it. So I had to, put it in the machine, get quarter, the whole 9 yards, bro. And I was eating McDonald's off the app. I was getting 2 quarter pounders of cheese, literally no joke. After practice, or after being at Raiders headquarters, I would only have enough money because I used my savings to come here. I would go on the McDonald's app, and you guys know, if you guys have McDonald's app, you guys can get 2 quarter pounders with cheese from the buy one get one option, right? And you get that like every day. It's like a daily menu thing, but you can only use it like three or 4 times out of the week. So I'm like, okay, damn, man, I used it 3 times already. Now what? Well, you got the chicken nuggets option, right? 20 chicken nuggets for $4.99, or you can buy what was it? Oh, 1 Big Mac, and you get another Big Mac free. So there's a lot of different combinations to go with. And I was doing a live stream eating this stuff while I'm telling you, it's crazy. So we want to talk about killing multiple birds with one stone. Crazy. George says, I don't know if you talked about it already, but who are you? What will you do with our first pick? I talked about this a long time ago, and I'll talk about it again because everyone needs to know the answer. It's very fluid. Things change from yesterday, and when it comes to my analysis, because I'm hearing things. I like to formulate my mock drafts. The more information I have, the more knowledge is power, and I can give you the most accurate information on that day. That's why you have to tune in every single day that I hop on, right? Or not. It's up to you. You guys can choose to follow who you want. But again, there's only so many hours in a day. You only have 24 hours in a day. So you choose to follow who you want to follow. For me, I don't like to waste your time. I don't like to waste my own time because I value my time just as much as I value yours. I need to get it right. And so that, again, that's why I say, if I'm not your flavor, if you don't like forward thinking analysis, if you don't like grading systems and how that plays a role when it comes to mock drafting, how it plays a role throughout the year on actually how good the Raiders team is doing compared to the other 31, then that's okay. But I think you'll find it, and the Niners fans have found it, that it's really beneficial because it brings a different flavor. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just different. And again, how I built up my following with the Niners and how I'm going to build it up with the Raiders is proving my worth from real-time analysis, cross-checking, and hindsight. Don't be a triple F, right? I always talk about, triple Fs. It's called a flip, flopper, fake. The 3 Fs. That's annoying. When you flip your analysis from real time to hindsight, like, oh yeah, they should have done this. It's like, yeah, okay. In hindsight, everyone can say that. Cool story, bro. What did you say in real time? Let's hold you accountable for the receipts that you put out. Let's do that. Let's keep score there. Because if you really think you're good at what you do, you would have foresaw that. You would have foresaw all of that stuff. And again, what I talk about on January 11th, January 19th, I think the Raiders are going to trade down. If anything, they're not going to trade up. Now watch them trade up. I just think they're going to trade down. And so I think they're going to trade down into that cluster that maybe the 10 to 18 range that I talked about, right? Alfredo says, what do you think about the Mac Jones rumors, Beast? I heard about that. I heard about the Mac Jones rumor. Hey, I'm a huge Roll Tide Roll fan. Shout out to my San Diego State Aztecs. I know we lost. I was very upset about that. Very upset about that, but it's okay. I was at the M Resort and Casino the other day, and these guys were throwing shade at San Diego State. I'm like, oh my gosh, man, can we talk? Like, because I was sitting at the bar with my Fred Biletnikoff wine, having a good time, and they start talking about San Diego State. Like, oh man, they should. FAU would have been better. I'm like, man, San Diego State, holla. But no, when it comes to Mac Jones, the reason I bring that up because they showed on ESPN the Mac Jones rumor, and I thought that was funny. Because, okay, so they're gonna get rid of Mac Jones. Okay, let's just say hypothetically. Then what? Where do they go from there? You draft a guy at 15 back in 2021, and then in 2 years' time, you're going to give up on him? For what? unless Aaron Rodgers kept walking through that door, I mean, does it really make logical sense? And it doesn't really create a perfect storm for the New England Patriots in the first place. If memory serves me correct, right? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Oh, you cover all 32 NFL teams. Yes, I do. All right, so let's just talk about what they have right now. All right. Let's talk about what the New England Patriots have, right? So they run a 34 base, right? And you see when the offseason, they went ahead and got Juju Smith-Schuster, who's a good security blanket, coming over from the Chiefs. And before that, you guys know he was with the Steelers and so forth. And they also got Mike Gesicki, right? Who I really liked from the Miami Dolphins. You guys know how I feel about Mike Gesicki, right? I think he's a very underrated tight end as a receiving threat. Not much of an inline blocker, but who gives a crap, right? Mike Gesicki is the real deal. And then they went ahead and got Riley Reef, the offensive tackle from the Chicago Bears, right? The journeyman who's been in the league for many, many years, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think Riley Reef was drafted by where was he drafted? He was an Iowa product, offensive tackle. I think he was drafted. Gosh dang. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's a first round draft pick, drafted in like 23, somewhere in there. He had short arms too, I believe. Iowa guys have short arms, man. Tyler Linderbaum, short arms. GM Eric DeCosta didn't care. Baltimore Ravens drafted him. I said Tyler Linderbaum could be a beast. But no, I thought that was funny that he is on the trading block. But again, I mean, this is clickbait season. Jan Paul Edward Didio says we need everything. That is very true. And if you're watching on whatever social media platform you're on, you guys can follow me here on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at BEASTwriter. And watch out for the fakes. Literally, you can buy a check mark these days. It doesn't mean crap. Look, can I pay Instagram to unverify me? Like, unverify, I didn't pay for that. But can I pay them to unverify me? Like, because I feel like I'm clustered with the people who paid for the verification, and I don't want to be clustered with those people. I think it's cooler to be unpaid and unverified, right? I don't know. Because I see people on my timeline that are showing up, and it's like, man, like, really cool story. You have a blue check mark. Cool. And then you click on the pro. You know how you know if it's paid or unpaid? If you guys follow me on Instagram, I taught you the trick. What you do is you go on the profile. If it says March 2023 verification, verified March, or that date, or April 2023, or whatever, any date after March 2023, it's paid. It's paid. Anything before that date, they're considered legacy. They're actually considered, they got that blue check mark and didn't pay. But from my point of view, I think it's cooler nowadays to be unverified. I think that's really cool. Honestly, I'm not trying to like throw shit. I'm just saying, I think it's cooler to be unverified. So can I pay Instagram to be unverified? Because I didn't pay for that check mark in the first place. But can I pay them to be unverified? I think that'd be cool. Now watch somebody at Instagram and Facebook watch this and unverify me. Oh, you broke protocol. I don't know. I think it's crazy. We all have those people on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram. All right. Oh, verified. Okay. Look, to each their own, right? But I tell you what, the blue check mark doesn't mean anything these days. That's what I tell people. People are like thinking that the blue check mark means something. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. The blue check mark means nothing. Nothing. There could be another beast rider, Ryan Sakamoto, with a blue check mark, and you would never know who's the real beast rider. I've been catfished before. That's why I think that's one of the reasons why I got check marked in the first place, right? Niner fans know what's up. Happened more than one occasion. Daniel K says, when do you think the cluster of players starts? Been thinking about how far we trade back. You know, I think it starts in the 10 to 18 range. And again, everything's going to be very fluid. I believe that in the first 7 picks, all right, and I think the Raiders are in a hot spot for a trade because I think someone's going to give up a lot for that 7th overall pick for a guy like Anthony Richardson. I really do. There's a lot of hype that Anthony Richardson can now climb up the top 5, which it could be. But then again, in any given draft, if you go back to 2021 and you compare that draft class to this draft class, who would you say had a stronger draft class? If you were to ask me in real time, now crossing to hindsight, right? We'll find out. But if I had to take a guess today, I would rather have the 2021 draft class. That's a stronger draft class than the 2023. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look what they had there, right? Okay, Zach Wilson. All right, I was wrong about that, by the way. I was wrong. I thought Zach Wilson was the truth. He wasn't. So that base receipt was horrible. So that just goes to show you that I suck at quarterbacks, right? But I did hit on the top 5 quarterbacks in the order they were going. Straight from Mandalay Bay. And if you guys know how to say about that, you guys made hell of money if you parlayed that. I said Trevor Lawrence going 1, Zach Wilson going 2, Trey Lance, not Mac Jones going 3. Oh, that's when it started. And I said the Patriots going to go after Mac Jones outside the top 10. They're not going to trade up. And then I said the one team that's going to make a splash on day 1 today is Ryan Pace of the Chicago Bears going to trade up for Justin Fields and give up the farm. Boom. I like Justin Fields, by the way. I like Justin Fields a lot. But again, if you were to compare that 2021 draft class to 2023 draft class, what draft class would you rather have? And we're talking about the top 5 quarterbacks, right? Not throwing in the Hendon Hookers, not throwing in the day 2 picks. I'm talking about just the day 1 picks. Like if you were to cluster these guys together, right? Like let's say your 2021 draft class and 2023 draft class and cluster them together, how would you rank those players? Now it's easier to rank because there's 2 years of body work to work from in the NFL. But in real time, if you were to be honest with yourselves and just look at the real-time stats, what does it tell you? Or the analysis or grading snap off the box, what does it tell you? Generally says we definitely want to trade back and acquire more draft capital to fill the roster. I love the roster moves he's made thus far. Hopefully he hits a grand slam in the draft. LQ19, I got back to you on the dropping the comments late last night. He said any chance Witherspoon is available at 11. That would be ideal and get an extra second or third pick. Potentially. I say that potentially because, again, there's a lot of – the way I see it playing out, I don't think he's going to go outside the top 10. Because, again, if you're a GM, right, and you look at the top 10 GMs that are drafting inside the top 10, you're thinking about this, okay, at what draft position do I think that Devin Witherspoon is worth based on the vertical board, right? Based on the vertical board, the plug and play, whatever the case may be. All right. And at that need, would we rather go after a cornerback, a boundary cornerback, not a slot guy, but a boundary cornerback, shutdown cornerback, or would you rather go after and fill another positional need because of how the landscape of this draft, not last year's draft, not the year prior to that, but this year's draft is going to play out. And so I think when you look at that and you look at what's out there, I think the Devin Witherspoon's teams that are actually going to be really targeting him as one of those cluster of 2 to 3 players in the top 10. I think it starts with the Las Vegas Raiders, right? I think it starts with the Raiders and then obviously trickles down. Oh, no, sorry. I think it starts with now that I'm talking about, I think it's going to start with the Raiders and then trickle down to the Falcons. Now, there's some talk that the Lions and GM Brad Holmes may go after. I just don't see that based on my analytics and what I see. Now, watch them go after Devin Witherspoon. I don't see that. I think there's other needs there. And again, when you look at that, who knows? They can go after a variety of different players. But if you look at what GM Brad Holmes did in my analytics and how I graded GM Brad Holmes, look, I hit on all his first round draft picks. All his first round draft picks I hit on when it comes to GM Brad Holmes. Hit on Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams was a trade up. So again, if you're going to follow somebody, especially when it comes to mock drafting or who the Raiders are going to take, you have to know the dynamics of the other 31. Otherwise, you're doing yourself look. 7-round mock draft. Really? Okay, so you did a 7-round mock draft. I don't think so. Daniel Kim, thank you so much for the super chat. To jumpstart our team, I definitely trade back and get 2 or 3 more picks in the second and third rounds. We would have some great players at our pick disposal. Yes, I'm all about getting more darts at the board in this upcoming draft. I do. And the reason I say that for a number of different reasons, I think people say, oh, well, it's a crapshoot in the NFL when you select a player because you don't know. No, that's your job. That's why you get paid millions of dollars. And that's why you get criticized getting it right or praised or getting it wrong or praised when you're getting it right, right? So it's like, no, man, you get paid millions of dollars because that's your job. You have one job, get it right. Now, can you get it right 100% of the time? No. But again, I do it. The Beast receipts check out more times than not, so why can't GMs do it? There's some GMs, some scouting departments that are really bad. I'm just saying. In real time, I said this, not in hindsight. Everyone can say, oh, cool story in hindsight. Oh, but thank you so much, Daniel Kim. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys want to send me a super chat or a super sticker, you guys can do so here on YouTube. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, there's a stars option now that you guys can donate. It's called a live stream star. You guys can do that there, and you can give me a star. It's kind of like a sticker when you're in school. Like, I want a green sticker. I want a red sticker today. I want a gold sticker. I know my mom. Long story short, my mom used to give me an allowance, but I had to do chores, right? I remember in elementary school, I had to do chores. I was like, really? I have to do chores? What's chores? Man, my mom put me to work. And for that one star, I think it was like back then, I think I'd be lucky if I got $5 a week. But man, those stars added up every day. I'd count those stars. And then I would buy football cards with them. Literally, I'd buy football cards with them. What was the brand? Topps? I think it was it Topps? I don't know. That's how old I am. When football cards were actually a thing and people actually liked them, we would buy boxes. I remember back in San Francisco, when my grandparents lived in Russian Hill, we would go and they owned the apartment complex and everything. So we every weekend we would watch the game or whatever, and then me and my cousin would go down the street to the local grocery store, and we would get a box of trading cards, right? Football trading cards. I forgot the name. What was it? My cousin Brian would know. He's a little bit older. He played football, obviously, and so we would do all these things and like try to figure out which packs to get and stuff. And so I just remember buying those football cards. Gosh, what brand was that? It wasn't Upper Deck. It wasn't Topps. It wasn't. Gosh, now I got to go back. It's off the top of my head. Was it Proline? Is Proline even? I want to say it's Pro something. Is there such thing as Proline? I want to say in the upper right hand corner. It's like red, white, and blue. I want to say it was Proline. I don't know. But that's how old I am. But yeah, anyways, cool story. Edgar Bonilla says, how often do you do lives? I try to do it every single day. We're going to be on a set schedule. So that's a great question. All right. That's a great question. So Edgar, I'll be on every Monday and Tuesday doing a pick six at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's why I call it pick six, right? Pick six at 6. Get it? So that'll be Monday and Tuesday. Every day at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll do a live stream. Every Wednesday, which is the hump day, we will do a blitz pickup. The goal of that show would be I will do a Han Solo Star Wars status, or I will have a special guest on the show discussing all things silver and black. So that will be on Wednesday. Time again will be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thursday and Friday, we will do another live stream. We will do what's called a live before 5 p.m. On Thursday. So that can be a Aloha kickoff video. That could be something in between. And then obviously on Friday, it's called Fourth and Goal. And that would obviously be again at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we discuss all things silver and black leading up to the week and the week's opponent and how that's going to play a role, and talking to the coaches with the coaches corner breakdowns that I have and the game film breakdowns that I do and run. And we're going to talk about that. And then you guys can place your bets. Pretty cool, right? And then Saturday, I think I'm going to have something special. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm still working out the schedule. The idea here is to grow the DOB, right? Because obviously you guys know what I bring to the table, but there's other Raider Nation that don't know who I am. Like, oh, cool story. Who's this BEASTwriter guy? Like, why does he call himself the BEASTwriter? Well, first of all, I don't call myself the BEASTwriter. I was given that nick, right? Went on ESPN, talked about it. They say I should fight in the UFC, but nah, I get my butt kicked in the UFC. Let's just be honest about that. But BEASTwriter was born, right? Because I compete, I bodybuild, right? I don't just go in the gym, look the part, and actually compete. Team Ventura, Evogen Nutrition, supplements is all in the description box below on all the social media platforms. Just use my code EvoBeast or Busy Fit Meals. Back in the Bay Area, sponsored by a meal prep company called Busy Fit Meals. Just use the code BusyBeast. So I try to do one every single day, Edgar. And again, just bear in mind, Monday and Tuesday, we're doing a pick six at 6 p.m. live stream. Wednesday, we're doing a blitz pickup. Ideally, I'd want to do it at 6 p.m. to keep that kind of time frame. But again, I can't guarantee that time because it's on other people's time if we're going to have a special guest on. So you don't know what you're getting. You just know you're getting valued content. And who knows? Could be a former coach, could be a former player, could be a current coach, current player, could be, you never know. Could be a scout. We have scouts on here, not just with the Raiders. We have scouts from other teams on here who are my friends, executives, GMs. It's cool. I think it's cool because again, you learn something because there's all this recycled news here when it comes to the team that you're covering, right? And we're all guilty of doing it, including myself. Like, there's only so many things you can talk about. Not really, right? If you actually think about it logically, there's always something to talk about. And so that's how I like to run my shows is like knowledge is power. So how do I gain more knowledge? How do I gain more power? Well, if you cover other NFL teams, and how it relates to the one that you're covering specifically, this being the Las Vegas Raiders, now people have a broader knowledge of the game itself. And how does that affect fantasy football? How does that affect in sports betting here in Las Vegas? That's why I moved to Vegas. It's all about making the money. It's a moneymaker. And the draft is no different. Keep the receipts. Jeremy Willis says, I think I want to draft Witherspoon over Gonzalez now. Witherspoon is a dog, love his courage, and especially his hard-nosed toughness and tackling. Yeah, anytime you mention a dog mentality, that is part of the Raider way, and I get it. And I like Devin Witherspoon a lot. In fact, I have to watch more film on Devin Witherspoon, and I've been trying to get more film on him, and I've been saying that for the last live stream, but I haven't got enough film on him. I'm going to get that, though. A guy reached out, says, I got you covered, Beast. I like how you run the grades. I got you covered on the Illinois product. DB Cooper says, love your content. Question, how does a BEASTwriter make money? Just by this. YouTube live streams, the algorithm hits. It's all based on how many people watch it, how many people like it, how many people share it. Obviously, and people send me donations through Venmo. I do that. I do sponsored posts, sponsored ads. I'm also a fitness model. So not only do I do this, right? I do other things. I compete. I'm an Evogen athlete, so I get paid off the supplements, obviously, right? So like you guys, there's a lot of different things on how I get paid and how I make money. But at the end of the day, it's like this. My brand that I built when it comes to the dark, that's why you see this logo right here. You see the logo? You see that barbell? That's what I do. Dark Side of BEASTwriter, right? So it's like I'm not your typical one-trick pony. So what I mean by that is not only do I cover the Las Vegas Raiders, but how does that relate in the fitness game? How does it relate to having functional strength on the field? How does it, and that's where you guys have me, right? How does it relate to being NASM trained, National Academy of Sports Medicine? How does that field of play into when injuries happen? Oh, is he nursing it? Is he really hurt? Talked about it with Darren Waller, right? We talked about it earlier, right? In real time. If you guys followed me from day one, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then Derek Carr goes on and says, well, some players should be playing. It pisses me off, blah, 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 and start crying. Come on, let's keep it 100. And people are saying, oh, is he talking about Darren Waller? I'm like, I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't know. He's not going to, you know what I mean? But the fact that he started crying, I mean, he was pretty upset about that. Antis Exo says, what up, Beast? What's going on? How you doing? And by the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, or if you guys follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I posted this on both those social media platforms. You see the supplements I'm telling you, man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. You guys should get your hands on it. In fact, I went to the gym today right before hopping this live stream. I had to cut my workout short because I had to do this live stream. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I got the most insane pump. Insane. Like on my second workout, I was talking to my boy Ponzi, who's the biggest guy here at EOS, right? I'm the second biggest. I'm joking. Probably not. Probably like the third. Anyways, he's the biggest. And so like he looked at me, he's like, damn, man, you look big. I was like, bro, I'm on some EVPAQ right now. I was like, what's that? So it's a glycerol product, bro. It's good. You should try it. It's like, man, your triceps are huge right now. It's like, don't let the gains fool you. I just worked out triceps. It's not like I didn't hit triceps. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Oh, man. Braden Springer said, here's a good question. Braden Springer says, why did you stop covering the Niners? Well, I did it for a number of different reasons. One, the opportunity here in Vegas is a lot better. I can talk about sports betting. I can make money based off my predictions and analysis. And you know how I do it with that, right? You know. You covered me from the Niners, so you know what's going on. Secondly, I'll just be 100% honest. The Bay Area is freaking expensive, bro. Like, the Bay Area is just expensive. I cannot afford to live in the Bay Area anymore. Like, I'll just be 100% true. Like, check your ego at the door. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. It's really expensive to live in the Bay Area. You could make six figures and still be in debt. I'm telling you, the price of living in the Bay Area is ridiculous. Not saying it's, but it's, hey, you're paying for the weather, you're paying for the location. I grew up, born and raised in San Jose. I get it, right? And it was either that, or I was actually thinking about moving to, calling it quits and just going to Hawaii and living with my sister. I have family out there in Hawaii, on Oahu. Obviously, I have family out there. But I was like, man, like I don't know if I can do that. I love Hawaii, but I don't know if I can live in Hawaii. Why? Because they don't have a football team, like a professional football team. And so Las Vegas came here, and I thought it would be really cool. And I like a challenge. Last but not least, I like a challenge. So why not move? It was a perfect opportunity, but why not try to move on from the 49ers and covering the Las Vegas Raiders and do it all again? Because if you did it with the Niners, I want to see if lightning can strike twice and I can do it again with the Raiders. And here I am today. So I like when people tell me I can't do something. I like when people doubt me. I like when people write me off saying thanks, but no thanks, because it just fuels my fire. Look, I didn't get to where I am by just piggybacking on other people's success or trying to be a kiss butt. All right. Brown nosing. Nah, man, I earn every inch I get. And so that's why I think when you do that, and no matter what career path you choose, like if you always have the mindset to do whatever it takes to get the job done, doesn't matter what you do, I said this on Twitter, Monday Motivation, you're going to incur hiccups, you're going to incur heartache, but how you take those in stride and still keep going forward by staying consistent in your grind is what's going to push you forward, and that's going to lead to future success, right? So I just think from my perspective, I love the Niners. Don't get me wrong. Love the Niners. Love the fan base. Love you guys, right? I grew up a freaking Niner fan, okay? Front row season tickets at Candlestick, 20-yard line. Got to know Steve Young, right? Got to know. In fact, you guys know, if you guys don't know the story or the backstory, how that, I mean, look, let's just put it this way. Niners players would babysit me when I was like 4 years old. So that's where that bond comes into play, right? And so I always been around football, always been around the players. And so, no matter what team I'm covering, whether it be the Niners, Cardinals, Steelers, Raiders, I just love covering the game of football. And the opportunity here in Vegas was just one I couldn't pass up. Now I could have stayed in the Bay Area. Don't get me wrong. I could have, but now I was like, you know what? Like, I want a family, I want kids. Is it logically? Am I gonna be struggling? How much am I gonna be struggling? Because let's be honest, we're not doing this. I'm doing this for the love of doing it, right? Like, let's be honest. Definitely not doing it for the money. So like, but you can definitely make money because why? Because the forward thinking analysis, the predictions, right? In Vegas, you can bet. Cool story. Someone would pay for my analysis. Some of you guys already did back in 2021 from Mandalay Bay. Made a lot of money. Jampa Edward Didio says Evogen. Yup. Evogen. Y'all know where I rep. I go to EOS right here off St. Rose Parkway. People asking me, man, hey, you're Evo Beast. You're the Evogen. Yeah, man. I said, you see that blue check mark? I want to get unverified. Oh man, the blue check mark is just ridiculous now. I'm just saying, the blue check mark is a complete joke. It is. Oh my gosh. JP Edward Didio says one of my cousins is living in condo in Cali, getting paid 120K. I have another cousin getting paid 150 in Arizona, and he has a house and a cabin. See, you get more bang for your buck. Now, but I love covering the Las Vegas Raiders. I wouldn't do it any differently. There's rumors going on that I was going back to the night. That couldn't be further from the truth. I am not going back. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't rent a U-Haul, pay a U-Haul. By the way, U-Hauls are expensive hauling from Bay Area to here to Vegas. We paid like $5,000 for that freaking U-Haul. Crazy. $5,000. It was a big mofo. I'm telling you, man. And the funny thing is, I still got stuff at my parents' house. Not much, but oh man. Edgar Bonilla says, high school is big in Hawaii, but just as expensive than the Bay Area. It is. Hawaii is very expensive. My sister told me. The 808, man. Gotta love it. Lencho says Vegas is the ninth island. That's what they say. That's what they say. Oh, man. Braden Springer says, I love watching you, not just for the football, but I love you. I love you how you're chasing your dream. Huge motivation to others. Thank you so much, man. And like I said, man, if it was easy, and that's a I'd like to like if I was to die today, I know it sounds like, oh, okay, it's getting all emo. But no, honestly, if I what's my legacy if I die? Is it the cool prediction that I made on Colin Kaepernick, or is it like the cool um uh predicting the score, getting 14 out of 17 games right for the Las Vegas Raiders at the end of the 2023 season? No, the goal for me is for, and again, not only do I do this, but I also motivational. I'm a motivational speaker, and obviously I personal train, online coach, and I do all these different things. The thing is it's if it was easy, and I talked about it with my guy at the gym today. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? Everyone would be doing it if it was easy. I talk about this, and I talk about, and this is one thing that I talk to kids about. Back in the Bay Area on the bye week, you guys know how I did with the Niners. I would go back and talk to these elementary schools, high schools, middle schools, and I would dedicate that entire week for the kids in the community. And now, what I would talk about is the hill. I talk about the hill and climbing up the mountain, right? And what does that mean, right? Well, it's called the Lonely Mountain, kind of like Lord of the Rings, right? I kind of take that thing from the theme of the Lord of the Rings called the Lonely Mountain, right? And what is the Lonely Mountain? Well, everyone wants to get to the top of that mountain, right? Like, oh yeah, I can do it. Oh, I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. And you have girls say, I can do it. Right? Guy, girl, doesn't matter, right? And so, oh, I can do this. Yeah, yeah, it's easy. Like I can do this. Like it's this cake. Okay, cool. Okay, so you start with 20 people, right? You get a quarter of the way up. You look behind you. It's only 15 people left. 5 people just said, you know what, too much. I'm aching. I'm in pain. I have cramps in my leg. I need to take a break. I need a water break. It's too hot, right? Because elevate as you get higher, right? Depending on where you're at. All right. So there's 15 people left. You get to the middle of the mountain, right? The halfway point. Let's call it halftime. There's 10 people left. All right. So 10 people already fell off, right? You get 3/4 of the way up. Now there's only 5 people, right? So you started with 20. Now there's only 5 people when you look behind you, and you're one of the 5, right? You get to the top, it's just you. Well, what did it take for you to get to point A to point B? Sacrifice, dedication, consistency, right? At the end of the day, you have to have that drive and determination. Otherwise, you're just fooling yourself. So no matter what it is you're doing, no matter what career path you take, you have to be mindful to know the difference between what it takes and what you're going to need to sacrifice to get there. Because everybody can make excuses, but no one gives a crap about excuses. It's all about results, right? When I compete, I can complain all I want. Oh man, this food sucks. Oh man, do I have to eat another meal? Oh, I'm full. Oh, I'm bloated today, coach. Like I don't feel like working out. Oh, no. Coach is gonna be like, nah, man, that's your problem. That's your problem. Your competitors aren't going to care. The judges aren't going to care when you step on stage. All they care about is the result. Did you win your show or did you not? Did you place top 5 or did you not? Did you take open? Did you not? They don't give a crap about anything else. And they shouldn't, because the standard is the standard. As Mike Tomlin would say of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm quoting other people from other teams because I do a lot of research on this, transcripts and everything in between, right? Cultural identity of what they're looking for. Okay, cool. So if that's the mindset, then what makes you any different than the person next to you who's competing with you, right? Like what separates you from them? Again, you have to be real with yourself. And if you don't have, some people just don't have it. A lot of people don't have it. They don't have what it takes to do what I do. They say, oh, I can do what you're doing. Okay, then do it. Do it. My hat's off to you. Do it. Look, I'm the only one that's self-employed. Look, I keep on saying this. I'm my own lighting guy. I'm my own sound check guy. I'm my own production guy. When I put out news on Twitter, I'm the editor of my own takes, right? And I'm also the guy who likes to say things, call myself out when I get it wrong, but call myself when I get it right, right? That's what's going to gain credibility. I do that too. So again, when you talk about all those different layers and then doing this on a day-to-day basis and then coming on and hopping on a live stream and then scheduling the thumbnails, again, we talk about the freaking just making the freaking thumbnails based on the social media platform that you're trying to engage with, which is all of them. That takes time. And then coming up, not just making the thumbnails, not just making sure the size fits, but then you also have to make sure that that you're editing the thumbnail to where it's going to be like, okay, catchy, right? So when I hop on this live stream, that's why you see that thunder and lightning in the background. Boom, I'm done. Bam, let's go. Let's get going. If I didn't have any of this and just had nothing, just had smoke, you guys would not be caring about this. Oh, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. D-Man says, smash that like button. I appreciate it, my guy. Jan says, JP says, success doesn't come without sacrifice. Yep. That's very true. George says, hey, Beast, appreciate your positive vibes. Thank you so much, man. And we're all about positive vibes here in the DOB, Dark Side of BEASTwriter. If you guys are new to following me, DOB stands for Dark Side of BEASTwriter. And there's a huge backstory as to why. I mean, Niner fans want to know why I left, and they're upset. Niner fans are upset that I left. Raider Nation, you guys all love it that I'm here, because I joined the dark side, and I love it. I relish it, and it's funny because, you see the majority of fans that follow me, I would say a good 55 to 60% still follow me. It's the 40% that fell off, and they're just upset because they feel some type of way. Oh, you that was your allegiance. You're not loyal. It's like, man, it's my job, bro. Like for instance, if you worked at Apple, let's keep 100. If you live in Silicon Valley, you work for Apple, okay? And then let's say you got a pay raise working for IBM. Let's say you got a pay raise working for Dell. Let's say you got a pay raise working for whatever the case may be. What are the Silicon Valley? What is it? Micron Technology. Let's say, all right. What other? There's so many Silicon Valley companies now. Let's say Cisco Systems, right? Like, who's to say that making that move is not good, the best decision for you and your family, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, it's a job. It's a business. It's like NFL players. Are you mad that Jerry Rice went from the 49ers to the Raiders because the Niners didn't want him after a while, right? They didn't want him. So he went to the Raiders. Ronnie Lott, same thing. Roger Craig, same thing. Bill Romanowski, right? I mean, we can go back and look at all the players that switched allegiance from 49ers to Raiders all we want. The history tells us something, right? And so, like, that's why I'm like, man, like, I like doing what I'm doing. I like doing this. I love giving back to the Raider Nation. Look, I like doing it, and I'm never going to stop. Just like I'm never going to stop giving back to the 49er fans. Even though I'm living here in Vegas physically, and I'm here 365 out of the year, I'm not gonna say, oh man, screw the Niners now, Niner fan. Nah, man, because you guys still make me who I am. So I still have season tickets to the games. I still give them away every single game, or run giveaways, because I have a crap load of stuff here of Niner memorabilia that you otherwise cannot get anywhere else. Would it be autographed jerseys from my time working with Vernon Davis or Frank Gore? I mean, we could name drop Patrick Willis, Chris Borland. Who else we got? Carlos Hyde. If you guys were in my booster club, you all know I got all those guys out. I want to do it with the Raider Nation too, because again, without you guys, I wouldn't be in the business I am today. Thank you so much, Braden Springer, for the super chat and super sick. I appreciate it, my guy. And again, I know you're a Niner fan. It's all good. Look, there's 35 of you guys watching it. If you guys like what I have to say, give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and be sure to turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I go live, when I upload content. I really, really love talking and engaging with you guys. It was funny. So one of my mentors, right before I hopped on, said, hey, man, like, you're doing a really good. He's a Raider fan, which I did not know. And he's like, hey, man, I'm watching your YouTube live stream. How's that going? I say, you know what? I think it's going well. He's like, well, how do you know it's going well? I say, because I can tell by the traffic. I can tell by the engagement. And that's going to trigger more Raider Nation to follow me. He's like, okay, well, how can I help you? Right? How can I help you grow? Right? And I said, well, just engage, right? Like, just give it a thumbs up, watch the video. and let me know your thoughts, right? That's it. That's free. That's all free information. Like that doesn't cost a penny, right? And so I think what we're doing here in the DOB is we're growing, right? There's people who don't know what to talk about, so they just don't talk. There's always something to talk about when it comes to me because I run grades on all 32 NFL teams. Look, you want to talk about the Denver Broncos? Let's talk about Denver Broncos. How does it relate to the AFC West, Las Vegas Raiders? Okay, let's talk about Pat Surtain. Let's talk about all these different players, right? It's not name drop players now, but we can talk about all the players that they brought in. We can talk about there's different things and how that affects the landscape of the entire AFC West, right? So different layers to this. Jawan Taylor, Kansas City Chiefs. How does that affect Creed Humphrey at center? The Oklahoma product. How's that going to help out? The wide receivers that they have there. My man D-Man says the nation appreciates all the hard work, all the hard work you do. All the hard work you do, Beast. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. D-Menace was one of the first DOB giveaway winners. And I actually shot multiple videos with him and Tanya. We met up at the M Resort and Casino, which, by the way, that's if you guys see me there, say what's up. Because I think it's cool to engage with you guys. And it's just a fun time. So that way you guys can put a face to the name and I can put a face to the name. So if you guys are in the area, don't be shy. I may come off as, look, I've been told I have an RBF. I'm not going to sit here and lie. If you guys don't know what an RBF is, it's a resting B face, all right? Resting B. I've been told that I have one, a real bad one, but I promise you I'm nice. I'm nice. So just come up and say hi. My mind's probably just in the back of my mind, I'm just probably running grades in my head, mocking my draft in my head. There's always something on my mind anyways. And it's always probably football related. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the super chat. And I appreciate you too, DMS. But he was our first winner, won the Raider Nation Rally Tell, and got to know him on a personal level. So D Menace is one of the guys that also mods our channel along with Daniel Kim and along with Robert Pena. So all these guys do a really good job at that. And again, I wouldn't be in the position I am without you guys in my corner. I really wouldn't. Like, and I truly mean that. Daniel Kim was another winner of the DOB giveaway before becoming a mod. It's just like, I know who talks to me. I talk to every single person. Like, literally every comment that's been left on social media, I respond to you in one way, shape, or form. Who does that? That takes time. You want to talk about the stuff that I just talked about earlier on and setting up the line check guy, the sound check guy, the live streaming guy, make sure everything's streamlined on all the social media platforms, make sure your stream keys work on those. Look, that's the software engineering side, right? Then you got the content creating side. You got the daily reporting side, right? You got the guy who makes the video side, right? I'm all that. And then on top of that, I respond. I don't have to respond to any of you guys, to be honest with you, but I love doing it, right? Like, I take the time to do it because if you guys take the time to talk to me, why wouldn't I give you the same exact respect and talk to you guys? Makes sense, right? Like, it makes sense if someone's asked you a question and you don't just, oh, I'm too big for that. I have 250,000 followers on my Niner fans Facebook page, which I do. I have 240 something thousand. I'm not gonna respond to these guys. I'm already there. There's no need. Taking a break. No, that's horrible. That is horrible. I like to respond to every single one. And again, it triggers my mind. It's like muscle memory when I work out. It triggers something in my mind that, hey, you guys are engaged with me. So, hey, off the top of my head, I already know who's engaged with me, who's sending me super chat. You don't have to send me a super chat, which is great. And obviously, I'm not going to say turn those down because obviously that helps pay the bills. But, just a like, just, commenting and engaging with me on whatever social media platform you're on, that does wonders for me personally. Because it makes this of value. If I was just talking to myself, and there's 32 of you guys watching it, so if you guys like what I have to say, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And again, you guys can do that. Just type in BEASTwriter, or you guys are watching on the channel. If you're on Facebook, everyone who does not go on YouTube, by the way, if you have YouTube TV, you obviously have a YouTube account. And if you watch a little do-it-yourself videos, obviously, or mukbangs, YouTube, right? So just subscribe to the channel. It's going to push it to other like-minded Raider Nation. Again, the bigger we get, I'm telling you, it's all up to you guys. Look, if you guys want season tickets but can't afford it because they're so expensive, I got you covered. let's grow the DOB so I can buy season tickets like I do with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not talking about nosebleed tickets either. I'm talking about the wine and dine tickets, bro. And you guys will be able to go. Not just taking yourself. You can take someone else. That's how you do with the Niners. Section 134, row 31, seats 11 and 12. Holla at your boy. Those are my seats. I want to do the same thing with the nation, but we got to grow. We got to grow. So how do you do that? Share the video, like it, spread the word to all your family friends about the DOB here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, because we run giveaways all the time. And if you're missing out, you're missing out. That's your own fault. But at the end of the day, it's like you may like me, you may not like me, but who doesn't want free stuff? Who doesn't want free stuff, right? You don't have to like me and still be like, oh man, I just want to follow this guy for the giveaways. Cool. To each their own. But let's be honest about that. There's a reason why you're following me. It's not for the giveaways. I'm joking. It could be. But most people follow me because they like what I bring to the table. But thank you so much, D-Mans. I appreciate it, my man. Salvatore Bruno says, what do you think if we take a flyer and sign Jeff? Oh, man. I saw this on. I don't like Jeff Okuda. I don't like him. He's too inconsistent for me. But you know what? To be honest, I shouldn't say I don't like him because, again, it could be dependent on scheme. It could be dependent on a lot of different factors. I shouldn't say I like him. If they sign him, they sign him. If they don't, it's not like, oh my gosh, they missed out on a number 3 overall pick. Former number 3 overall pick. George says, just started listening to your channel recently. Some I started to follow, others I stopped. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad. Hopefully you like what I bring to the table. Hopefully like my analysis, news, and notes. And look, I'm one of the few that actually works at Raiders headquarters. Like I'm actually there Monday through Friday. So like when people put out news, they're actually getting it from people like me, who are like one of only like 10 people there, right? Like literally. So that's another thing that irritates me is people try to pretend that they're there or they hear from sources. Their sources are us because we're there. Now we have sources and externally, internally, whatever the case may be, but that's just a different layer to the puzzle. A lot of people act like they're there. They ain't there, bro. Like I'm telling you straight up. And I took pictures to prove it, not to say, oh, I'm cooler than you. But again, if you're going to source me, which by the way, a lot of people do, they make little graphics about me and then put it up on social media and stuff. At least give me credit for it, right? Like at least give the person who's actually there grinding it out the credit for it. The same thing happened with the Niners. And when I talk to my coworkers with the Niners, would be, Matt Barrows, Matt May, whatever, Cam Inman, whatever. It's just a respect thing, right? I think. Now, I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. But let's be honest about this. No one likes their work being stolen. So let me write that down. Let me not try to act like I'm there because I'm not. The fake it till you make it is not a real thing when it comes to beat writing. Because you can't say you're there if you're not there. Or people stealing my videos, re-editing the videos, and then this is what they do. Because I get paid off my social media, right? They actually steal my video, and it's my video. Like I'm sitting in that. That's my vantage point. Like I'm the one asking questions. If they get really creative, they take out the watermark. They get really creative. They zoom in, crop it. Don't do that. If you're going to talk about something that someone said, would it be Jimmy Garoppolo? Would it be Devontae Adams? Right? Max Crosby, whatever the case may be. Credit the source of who asked that question, please. It's a respect thing. And don't try to act like you're there. Because you're not. And you'll get called out for it because, again, I don't like people stealing my work. So you shouldn't like people stealing your work either. Like, wouldn't you be mad? I'd be mad. Not bitter, but it's just there's a right and a wrong. There's a thing called integrity. If you don't have integrity, there's a reason why you're probably in the position you are today. Just keep it 100. Alpha One says your info is solid. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We got Drew Smoke in here. Says, "What's up, Nation?" Uh Braden Springer says, "Can't wait to see what your mock looks like. I'm very high on Brian Branch and Deion Henley. Deion Henley's a guy who I ran grades on him. I talked a little about him a little bit last week. Yeah, last week, right? Last week on last week's live stream. I like Deion Henley a lot. I like this guy. I like this guy's motor. I think he fits the radar. I like his attitude. I love tough, physical, not very instinctive. I'll be honest with you about that. Gets swallowed up by offensive tackles, a little bit on the smaller side. But that's not to say this guy can't play in the NFL. I would love Deion Henley in the Las Vegas. I would love it. Bring him on. Beast approved. Raider Nation says, "How did you learn to break down film? Are you better at analyzing certain positions over others?" Check the Beast receipts and you tell me. I think I'm pretty consistent when it comes to running the grades. How I learned is I learned from myself, obviously, but then again, you have people in your corner, whether it be former execs or current execs, GMs, the top players, right? Pro Bowl players, all pro players. And then I picked and chose my spots. I said, okay, well, it's kind of like when you do not like a blind testing, but you take different parts and then you formulate your own analysis. Because you obviously, the baseline for formulating my analysis is the grading system that I have, right? What to look for, what not, what to avoid when looking for something, right? There's a lot of different things. And I'm doing this off the top of my head. I started this back in 2015. No, sorry, excuse me, 2013. I started actually formulating my grading system and fine-tuned it. And again, a lot of the times, before PFF puts their grades out, it's down to 1/10 of 1 point. A tenth of a point when it comes to running the grades in the DOB, BWF, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's a lot of different layers to it, and to each their own, right? Like you can talk to and I talked about this. You can talk to my man Andre Carter, that's for example, okay? Like he looks at grades, he knows what to look for, right? He knows how to grade the snap, not the box score, right? Pro Bowl player, played for the Raiders, played for the Niners, played for the Patriots. You guys know who he is. Played at Cal, is a legendary, comes from a legendary coach from his father, right? You can talk to, like, let's say you talk to another defensive lineman, or let's say for instance Randy Cross, right? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have the same line of thinking in terms of what they're looking for, but there's a baseline as to what they're looking for, if that makes sense. So again, to each their own. Is my grading system bulletproof? I would hope so, but it's not. Nothing's perfect. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. And that question was asked by Raider MT81. Hopefully that answers your question. And then a lot of people ask me that. And then someone asked me, hey, James says, can we start a draft pool pot? We channel you the money, you drive the bets, and share back the booth. I mean, look, the other part of that is I will just give you the information. The Beast receipts are going to check out. But no. Yeah, people have sent me money for my predictions and analysis, and that works just as well. I mean, you guys can Venmo me. My Venmo is in the description box below. If you guys want grades on the player, I got that too. If you guys want to know which direction, like for instance, like last year's draft, right? Like, okay, so let's say Jordan Davis, right? For example, like there was talk about him going, is he going to get picked in the top 14 picks or the top 15, right? And what happened? The Eagles traded up for him, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? Let me look back. I think they did. I think the over under on him being drafted was 14. Or 14 and a half. What is it, 14? I think it was 14. And what happened was, yeah, they traded up to the Eagles, traded up. If I'm not mistaken, let me just pull it up because people, oh, no, you're wrong. But something, I remember making that. Gotta love the NFL draft though. Anything's as unpredictable as it is. Yeah, Jordan Davis went 13th. Excuse me, Jordan Davis went 13th overall, and Kyle Hamilton went 14th. Because yeah, here we go. Houston traded to Philadelphia. Houston traded its first round selection to Philadelphia in exchange for a first, fourth, and fifth. Yeah, that's what screwed it up. Because I literally thought that the Baltimore Ravens were going to take him at 14. That's what I was thinking. And that 34 base defense. All right, there's 32 of you guys watching. If you guys like what I have to say, give this video a thumbs up and holla at your boy. Daniel Kim, and turn on the bell notification. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel as well as the other social media platforms that we're on, but more specifically YouTube in general. So if you don't have a YouTube, get yourself a YouTube account. It's free. I mean, if you have a Gmail account, you guys can open one up with that Gmail account that you're on, and just subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications, because that way you'll get notified. If you just subscribe to the channel and you don't turn on the bell notifications, whether you subscribe to my channel, and it's free, by the way, and you subscribe to my channel or someone else's channel, it's just like a follow on Instagram, right? Same thing. It's free. But the difference is on YouTube, you actually have to turn on the bell notifications so you get notified on your phone when I go live or when I upload content. Otherwise, you guys will skip a beat, and you don't want to miss a beat from a guy on the beat as a beat writer. Get it? Don't miss a beat from a guy on the beat. Don't try to be there if you're not there. I'm just saying. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Daniel Kim says there's a lot of people out there cover the Raiders. Some of us foot all knowledge to conclude things. Many regurgitate what's floating around social media. Beast watches the tape and does his homework. Yeah, man, a lot of homework, a lot of sacrifice though too, right? Like there's only so many hours in a day. I keep on talking about this, right? So what you choose to do with those 24 hours is up to you. And then every day it starts all over again. And that's when you have a bad day at work, someone says, oh, it's a new day today. Actually, that may be true because it is a new day. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be a new day unless you're dead, right? Like in this, like, so I look at it as one big life cycle, and we're just not missing a beat from a guy on the beat. LQ says, do you really believe Ziegler and McDaniels? I do. I like them both. I like them both. I talked about it a lot of different times, a lot of different layers, got to know both those guys on a personal level, obviously, because I work with them because I'm there. I like both those guys. I think they're the right man for the job. I don't know why people don't think so, but hey, to each their own, right? We're gonna fact check this. But at the end of the day, you need horses. I talked about this throughout the year. I was like, they need defensive horses. They don't have the horses on defense to even compete. Oh, we got Chandler Jones. Why I say my BWF grading system and DOB grading system? Jan Paul Edward did knows because he was an Arizona Cardinal before that, and I said, I didn't like him. I didn't like the signing. Oh, you're new to the Raider. All the nation that followed me from the very beginning is like, oh yeah, you're hating on Chandler Jones. You don't know what you're talking. Okay, well, where are they now? Crickets. And then I gained more followers because I was right in real time, cross-checking to hindsight, not being a triple F, flip-flop, or fake. Man, crazy. Daniel Kim says, people read headlines, regurgitating social media, applies some football knowledge, Beast watches the tape, applies GM tendencies, looks at free agency, and then formulates his takes. People will know. I hope people will know. I hope people don't steal my analysis and say, oh yeah, I watched the film. Like, okay, let's see some cut-ups of you watching the film. I would love to do that. When people say I watched the film, I would love to see the cut-ups and be like, hey, which games? Don't grade the snap, grade the box, and don't grade the box score, grade the snap. What games did he play well in? Oh, I watched this game, this game, this game. Anybody can do that just reading off the box score, right? Oh, this guy had 2 interceptions. Oh, this guy had 3 pass breakups. Okay, well, what does that really mean? I talked about this. You can have an interception and 5 pass breakups, but if you gave up 2 touchdowns in coverage, then to me, are you going to be really graded that highly? But if people grade the box score, you would never see, because they don't show you in the box score who gave up that touchdown based on the cover shot that you're in, do they? So let's keep it 100. Do you really know how to grade the film? Do you really know what to look for? JP Edwards says, yeah, I got attacked like crazy for posting your video about drafting Greg Rousseau and trade CJ. I told you. What did I tell you about that? Man, I said Chandler Jones was not going to be. Told you. I look, called it. I said Chandler Jones, not high on him. Don't like it. Oh, Jay Powell says worth it though. He was washed and just collected a paycheck. I think Chandler Jones is a great locker room guy. I do. But I don't think he's worth 15 million APY where they gave him. Was it 15 million APY? Something like that? Crazy. So that's just kind of how I see this stuff going on. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we're an hour and 35 minutes in. There's 35 of you guys watching it. Give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you're noticing that we're not putting this on Twitter anymore, simply because we don't get paid off Twitter views, so there's no point in posting that up there. And it was brought to my attention from people that help me out with the Raider Nation who work for some of these companies. They're like, "No, man, don't be doing that. That's your time. People need to value your time. I value your time." So that's why I'm not doing it, because again, if you're going to want to follow my analysis, I'm going to push the social media platform that I want to promote. And to me, Twitter's one. Obviously, it's not like saying I'm not going to post stuff on Twitter. Twitter will be like the quick slant videos. Twitter will be for the news outlet in terms of getting stuff out really quick. YouTube is more like this. It's more like peeling back layers of the onion to really get to the core, as I always like to say here in the DOB and previously BWF. We really want to know exactly what's going on. There's different layers to why I do what I do, right? And so, like, I think once the Raider Nation gets wind of this and they try to understand the rhyme behind the reasoning as to why I do it this way, will it be running the giveaways? Will it be giving back to the DOB? Will it be giving back with the, we're launching t-shirts. We were going to launch sweatshirts, but it's getting kind of hot here in Vegas. So we're going to be launching some t-shirts, some swag, all that in between. So a lot of cool things coming in the DOB. And again, I wouldn't be here without you guys in my corner. So how do we do that? How do we grow the DOB? Again, like the video, that's free. Drop a comment, that's free. Engage with me on the platforms, that's free. Sharing it is probably the most way we can go viral, right? We want to go viral, right? We want to go viral. So you guys just had Easter. Talk to all your family and friends. Odds are, if you're part of the Raider Nation, your whole family's Raider Nation. Let's not get it twisted. Just like if you're a diehard Niner fan, a 49er faithful, you're going to be a 49er faithful throughout the whole entire family, that side of the family. Come on. Rarely do you see Raiders and Niners coming together as one unless you have a split family dynamic, which my family was. Half my family was Niner fans, the other half was Raider fans. But at the end of the day, it's all about those good vibes only, or I like to call the dark side vibes, and it's all nothing but love here in the DOB. Just too much BS going on. Like, oh man, like I know some of you guys have been telling me about the content creator drama that's going around. Like, people don't like certain people, other people don't like other people. So you gotta be careful who you associate with, because then you'll be guilty by association with those people as opposed to these people. I'm like, man, stop telling me or trying to act how cool you are and just grind it out, bro. Just keep your head down and start grinding. That's all I care about. There's too much other nonsense going on as to, oh, I'm better than you, you're better than me, blah, blah, blue, you suck, I suck, blah, blah. It's like, man, like, what are we in kindergarten? I tell you what, I don't know. That's just not how we do business here in the DOB. We're all the good vibes only here in the DOB. Juice Smoke says, I appreciate your work. Keep doing you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Really means a lot. Jason Sahir says, thanks, Beast Rider. We appreciate your content, bro. Thank you so much, man. It means a lot. Like, these comments mean a lot. Like, these comments mean the world to me, because it means like it fulfills this whole live stream, right? Because it tells me that you guys really do appreciate it, and it makes these worthwhile, right? I don't have to do this. I could have been at the gym right now, because again, I cut my workout short to hop on this live stream, because I said, you know what? I dedicated my time to the Raider Nation. I said at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Monday and Tuesday, we're doing a Pick 6 at 6 p.m. live stream. And we're just going to talk about the Raider Nation. We're going to talk about the state of the franchise. We're going to talk about the news, notes, and quotes from around the league. And we're going to talk and break down as to the why behind why they're bringing some of these pre-draft visits prospects in, right? We're going to talk about all that into one. We're going to talk about and lay out the foundation as to why they're doing what they're doing, right? we're not just gonna come on here and talk about nonsense. Like, to be honest with you, I hate clickbait. By the way, I don't like doing this. I hate clickbait. Oh yeah, I could have put up oh, is Chandler Jones the answer? Oh, Chandler Jones may be cut. Like, you see that stuff and like, bruh, what? I don't know. The only reason I would put that out there, not in regards to Chandler Jones, just using that as an example, or anyone else, any other player, is if it was true. If there's some factual information that I received or some source that I received that I relied on, right, that was credible, that would feed me that information, then I'd hop on and be like, yeah, Chandler Jones is on the chopping block, bro. I see so much stuff on YouTube. It's ridiculous. Like, and I'm sorry, and I want to apologize for you guys because it's wasting your time. Like, think about this. Think about this, all right? This is real-time analysis right now at 7:43 p.m., right? Pacific Standard Time. All the people that you follow, right? Keep track of what they're saying. And then in hindsight, compare what they're saying to what I'm saying in real time to hindsight. And then you can kind of keep score. Okay, BEASTwriter said this. This person said this. That person said that. In real time, cross-check it in hindsight. Odds are I'll be coming pretty close to what actually plays out. I'll get it right or come really, really close. And that's why Niner fans follow me. Still continue to follow because I'm telling you, everyone wants to know what's going on when the draft unfolds. Everyone wants to know what goes on throughout the season when I have year-end voting rights as part of a member of the Pro Football Writers Association. I take that very seriously. Oh, Down Kid says, definitely hit the like, subscribe, and let's get the DOB into the nation. There's no like him out there. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you. I appreciate you too. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up. There's 28 of you guys watching. Also, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell notifications here on YouTube. Literally, once you subscribe to the channel, you have the option. There'll be a pop-up menu to turn on the bell notifications, and it'll say all. Just tap all so you get notified when I go live. Otherwise, there's no point in you subscribing. And another reason why you want to do that is so you'll know when you won a giveaway. Like, don't you want to win? Like, right? You want to win giveaways. How are you going to know if you don't hit the bell notification? You wouldn't. So don't be one of those people that gets left out. JP Edward Didio says, succeed in silence because people paying attention are looking for substance, not style. Yep, exactly. Daniel King says, hashtag BEASTwriter, hashtag let me write that down, hashtag DOB family. Yeah, when you're here, you're part of the DOB family. You're part of the DOB Ohana, right? Like, that's what the vibe that I want to give off because there's so much hate in this world. That's all BS, bro. Like, we don't need that crap. We don't need that crap. Daniel Kim says, a lot of people have flipped their takes out in the social media sphere. Yeah, they're flip-flopper fakes. Call them out. Call out, but hey, nah, man, you said that guy was good, but you actually in real time, you said he was bad. Or you said that guy was really bad and he turned out to be good. Keep track. Keep track of the Beast receipts. Keep track of my stuff. It holds myself accountable, right? I like being called. Look, I call myself out when I get it wrong, which isn't very often, but I like doing it. That's why I'm not afraid to put my analysis on the line in real time. I'm not afraid to do it. Over the course of the last decade, it checks out. Jan Paul Didio says some insiders are team mouthpieces and used as pawns by teams. It sucks and hard to know what's the truth. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that's not true, but I can say that I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Edgar Bonilla says, what's your predictions, picks 1 through 6? And you know the reason behind that, right? Is because, I'm not saying with the Raiders, Niners, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general. Don't be surprised. Like, because if they're going to give you information, they say, oh, my sources say, they're going to give you good. And then we talked about this. There's some sources that give you good information, but then there's also some sources that say, hey, look, like, can you put this out there or whatever, right? It happens. It happens. That's just the nature of the beast. Or they can lie to you thinking that, oh, yeah, we're really high on that guy. This guy's an alien. This quarterback's an alien. Cool. Deny me T. AlQ19 said, I do appreciate that Ziegler openly explained what he's looking for in a player that will help build a solid foundation. Didn't really know Mayock's standard. To be honest with you, I like when Mike Mayock worked for NFL Network. In fact, when he was working for NFL Network, first time I met him was at Candlestick Park. Really, really cool guy. Met him one time. the only time that I met him, but left a really good first impression on me. He actually took time to talk to me when I was talking about the NFL draft. I don't know why he did that. Nice guy. But yeah, I don't know what the heck Mike Mayock was thinking. Maybe John Gruden had some influence there. I wasn't there, so I don't know what's going on. I heard different things internally, externally. So I'm like, whatever. It really doesn't make a difference to me because it's all in the past and I wasn't there. So how do you know what's real and what's not? It really doesn't matter to me because I wasn't there in the first place. I was back in the Bay Area doing my thing. But anyways, I think we're going to wrap up this live stream. We're an hour and 45 minutes in. There's 3 of you guys watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I had to say. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel here. And you guys can follow me on the other social media platforms that I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at BEASTwriter. Just be sure to look for the blue verified badge, which doesn't mean much. No one gives a crap about that blue verified badge. I don't give a crap about it. In fact, I want to pay. Can I pay Instagram and Facebook to unverify me? I didn't pay for it in the first place. So can I pay someone to unverify me? I think, like I said, I think it's cool to be unverified. I want to be with them. I want to be with the masses now. Crazy. Crazy. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'll be hopping back on tomorrow for another Pick 6 at 6 p.m. live stream. That'll be the second one that we do on a weekly basis. Again, we're starting a set schedule. Monday and Tuesday, we're doing a Pick 6 at 6 live stream. Wednesday would be a Blitz pickup. I call it the Blitz pickup because we're going to have a special guest. You don't know who that guest is, but hopefully we can get a guest on. And if not, it'll just be me talking about the Raider Nation. But again, it's on other people's time. A lot of people have families. A lot of people have kids. Luckily, I don't. So lucky for you guys that have no life because you guys are my life. You guys are my kids. I'm not your kid, bro. No, but I don't have family, don't have kids. So you guys are my family, right? So I love it. And I sacrifice that to do this. Like, that's the thing. It's, you have to give up something to gain something, right? Nothing in life comes free. Everything is earned. So I keep telling people that. People like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, but it's the truth. Because no one wants to put in that time. No one wants to put in that effort because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot on my plate. But at the end of the time, at the end of the time, yeah, at the end of my days, at the end of the day, it's worth it in the end. So I just want to give a special shout out to everyone who subscribed to the channel. I just want to give a special shout out to those who sent me super thanks and super chats. Daniel Kim, thank you so much again for giving me a shout out. I really appreciate it. And then also dropping this knowledge here when it comes to the second and third rounds. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Braden Springer. Despite being a Niner fan, I get it. Thank you so much, man. I see what you're doing there. And love what you're doing there as well. Want to give a shout out to D Menace also for sending me the super chat. He also mods the channel. One of my good friends. He says the nation appreciates all the hard work you do, Beast. And again, all these people, to be honest with you, I met through YouTube. Isn't that crazy? I met all you guys through YouTube and we became good friends. How crazy is that? How a social media platform can bridge the gap between fan and beat writer, and now you guys are family. That's crazy. That's what it's all about. That's the good vibes I'm talking about. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And again, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. And we're going to do this all again tomorrow on another Pick 6 at 6 live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Take care for now. Spread the word to all your family and friends as we keep things hot here in the DOB. Thank you so much. Have a good night. BEASTwriter out.